Well guys, every now and then we get a video of a woke Karen that goes absolutely mega viral on the internet, and today is one of those days. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into this video, please like and subscribe. I try to keep you up to date on all the insanity that is happening in our current clown world, and much of that insanity revolves around the fact that people are offended by everything. And today's story/video highlights exactly that. This video takes place in a Porto's bakery here in California, where a cashier is confronting an older Korean woman who's a customer at the bakery. The cashier is accusing her of saying something offensive to another customer. And I should note before we get into this video got over 10 million views. Let's watch.
So apparently if you look like my mom and have a conversation with another guest in line because it's your first time at Porto's and you're trying to figure out what to order, this employee will eavesdrop on that conversation, tell you that your mom is being rude, be offended on behalf of the other guest, and be completely gagged when you find out that I speak English fluently and will call you out on your terrible behavior.
Wait, what did
You said, is it for you or is it for family?
For family. He said, yeah.
I know. Like what you did say was a little bit bad. It did take him a little bit back.
What did he? Who back?
No, guess.
So then he just
left.
Yeah.
Wait, why is it rude? What happened?
No, we just so friendly talk about that.
Are you sure?
Okay, are you guys keeping up so far with the layers of all the different accusations that are being made here? So his Korean mother, who walked up to another customer who was apparently buying some sort of coffee cake at Porto's, asked the customer, "Is this for you or for your family?" Presumably trying to get an idea of the portion size of the cake, whether or not he was getting it for himself or it was a shareable item that you could have with your entire family. It seems as though the cashier interpreted that as a fat-phobic comment, as if she's asking the man, "Well, are you gonna eat all that?" And now, because the cashier is going after the mother who speaks broken English, the son is accusing the cashier of being racist towards somebody who is foreign-born. The layers of wokeness and victimization are running very, very deep here.
Are you sure?
No.
From what I saw, he did it very friendly.
I'm sorry, but what is your role in this? If there was a conversation between her and someone else, what is your position in this?
Oh my, what's wrong? He's just so friendly, we talk about.
It's gonna be to go. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
What is it? This is wrong about it.
Yeah,
What's wrong with this? Why is she trying to make a trouble with me? I heard that he was next to me, and then he say, chocolate cake, coffee cake, because that's the coffee cake is my favorite. So, if there's small pieces maybe, then if I'm gonna buy it, that's what I thought. And then where's the coffee cake? And then he said, right there. I see the sign and the BQ's cake. So, that's too big for me. And then, is that for you or your family? And then, we're gonna share the for maybe 6 people. That's looking good. That's all I said.
Yeah, that's a conversation they had. That's it.
There you go. So then we come to find out the conversation was the most innocuous conversation you could possibly have. She's getting a view for the size of the cake and asks him the friendly question, "Is that for you or your family?" Just asking him what he's intending to do with the product that he bought. And because this cashier is eavesdropping on the conversation and interpreting it to be something offensive, she decides to confront this mother and son. It's all ridiculous, but let's sort of break down what could be a very, very small moment and apply it to what we know about woke ideology and the victimhood culture that we are living in this current day and age, and assess why something like this may happen. My theory on this is that the cashier, probably in her personal life, is very obsessed with the idea of standing up against fat phobia. She's probably a supporter of the body positivity movement. So when she hears comments about food or weight or eating, I would imagine that her ears perk up and she immediately interprets them as being fat phobic comments. And this is what happens when you're obsessed with the idea of victimhood or defending people from from an oppression that you believe to be ever present throughout the world. You're going to insert yourself in situations where it is wholly unnecessary for you to do that. You make what I believe is a completely ridiculous choice to be offended on behalf of other people. And we see this all the time. They want to step in and be the savior in the situation. They want to be the one to educate those who are oppressing others. And more so than that, they want to be able to display their virtue to the world and signal to everybody that they are somewhat holier than thou and they know how to care for oppressed people in marginalized identities. And it may be that that young woman has experienced fat phobia before, or she personally struggles with body image and doesn't want to see somebody else go through what she's been through. But to insert yourself into somebody else's conversation, and especially an innocuous one where it seems as though nobody was offended, is a bit too far. I could see maybe if there was bullying taking place or a back and forth conflict that started to escalate, maybe then as an employee you could insert yourself into the situation. But according to this mother's account, this by no means called for that. I think this cashier might have thought she was on an episode of What Would You Do, and John Quinones was about to pop out of the corner and give her a round of applause.
Hi there, John Quinones with What Would You Do? She's an actress.
But this is what people who are possessed by this sort of ideology do. They take every odd look or misinterpreted statement as a form of oppression upon them or others. And instead of assuming that people have the best intentions, they almost immediately assume the worst. There are 1,000 different ways you probably could have interpreted the conversation that she was eavesdropping on, but she immediately chose to jump to offense. It's this sort of microaggression culture that we all seem to be consumed with, and we're so consumed with it that even the guy who's making this TikTok video is accusing the cashier of being racist towards his mother for inserting herself in the conversation. We are so misguidedly obsessed with these identity categories that we all seem to be in and these oppression narratives that we tell ourselves that is now the way we interpret everything we experience in the world. So much so that you can have two people in an active conflict who are accusing each other of oppression while both simultaneously being wrong. The caption on this TikTok says, "I try to take the high road, but there's only so many times things like this can happen before I need to say something. Mom has been bullied and harassed in the workplace before, and even I've been told to go back to my country. But it's 2024 and we're at Portos of all places. Come on now." I'm sorry, but as much as you have a valid criticism for this cashier and how she treated you at the Portos, it has nothing to do with race and language. We are going to find ourselves in this endless cycle of conflicts like this continuing to occur. Why? Because we're not asking ourselves the right questions. Ibram X. Kendi, who you all know as the critical race theorist and guy who's obsessed with anti-racism, once said, "It's not whether racism occurred, it's how racism occurred." We are not looking at these situations without bias and asking ourselves, should we be offended? Instead, we are asking the question, how should I be offended? So in this case, the cashier at Portos is going to walk away thinking that she experienced fat phobia that day, and the mother and son are going to walk away from the Portos bakery thinking they experienced racism that day. And the tens of millions of people who are watching this on TikTok are going to come to their own conclusions about fat phobia or racism or some other way in which they've been offended. And this entire fiasco could have been avoided if everybody stepped back for a second, took a deep breath, and realized that there was no real reason to be upset. Sometimes it's best to extend to people the benefit of the doubt, and that's exactly what should have happened here. And we all need to learn this lesson, especially with the way we live now. We are surrounded by people of all different backgrounds, religions, colors, creeds, experiences, and you're bound to hear things that maybe trigger you or may cause you to be offended, but sometimes you need to step back and give people grace. If not, we're all going to be at each other's throats, and little sentences like the one said by this Korean mother in this video will create greater and greater conflicts, and we'll be convinced that we somehow live in a racist, sexist, ageist, homophobic, fatphobic world, when in reality, a world is much better off than many think it is. If the worst, most offensive thing that happened in your day is an old lady asking another customer about cake, I think your day is going pretty well, and you should probably save yourself the upset. And if there's so little racism in the world that this is somehow an example of a racist altercation, I think we're doing okay. I think if there's any lesson we've learned here, it is to sit back, take a breath and chill out. But guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below on this video. I'm sort of surprised it went this viral, but I guess a lot of people came at this from a lot of different angles and had many things to say. So let's hear your angle. As always, if you disagree with me, duke it out in the comments, but do so respectfully. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.